The legislation committee meeting for November 22nd, 2022 will now come to order. Please call the roll.
Alderwoman Davis,
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Present.
Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Boyd, Alderman Oldenburg, Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Present.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Here.
Chair Vlamer,
Present.
President Green,
Present.
Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Boyd,
Present.
Alderman Oldenburg. 7 present. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. Approval of minutes, I believe we have none. This is our first meeting of this session. Board bills for review, we have none. Resolutions for review, we'll be taking up resolution 146. Please read the,
Resolution number 146, introduced by Alderwoman Shameen Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman Megan Green. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis that the Board of Aldermen authorizes the creation of a special committee for the purpose of overseeing the administrative transition from 28 wards to 14 wards.
all right. We had put a request out for public discussion. We have none in the drive, so we had no response for public speaking. What I will do, we'll turn it over to the sponsor or sponsors, since they're both present. I guess Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Resolution 146. I think we spoke a little bit about it on Friday. Absolutely continues the work that we have already starting back in 2012 when this was passed, and on to the city resolution 12 as amended in 2018 that passed through the Board of Aldermen for creating a special committee as well. And now the work that former Alderwoman Heather Navarro and this committee that was formed out of this legislation committee when we were going through the ward reduction and the ward transition process was doing the data, the information that was pulled together. This is now going to form a dedicated committee, which was already, again, started. I remember the robust conversations that came out of the meetings that Alderwoman Navarro and Alderwoman Pam Boyd had years back when I was watching. That precedes my tenure here at the Board of Aldermen, but I used to watch them and see the coverage of it as an engaged citizen here in the city of St. Louis. So this dedicated committee, right, is to make sure that we continue the transparency that we have done through this legislation process of going through the ward reduction here in the city of St. Louis. And I'm hoping that today we have a favorable consideration and do pass recommendation for resolution 146.
Okay. So to take it up, God, it's been quite some time because Alderwoman Navarro was on us when we did this.
Yeah. 2018, I went back and watched that meeting. You know how I am, I'm a history nerd. I like going back and watching all that stuff.
And so the purpose of this resolution, are we wanting to appoint committee members to this, or how what is your plan as far as this committee? Are you planning on doing it through this committee, or when it says a special committee?
It would be a special committee, which is in the power of our board president to form this special committee. It will be of our peers, right? And she's on the call and can answer questions, but in our discussion about it, I think she's looking about 6 to 9 members or so. And for me, my only, I guess, ask when we talked about this, to make sure that it's diverse, right? And make sure that members on the committee reflect the entire city. I know that we have, right now, we're a little split north and south, but it's gonna come together when we go into these 14 wards. So even in the transition, we wanna make sure that the different quadrant, well, I don't know the word I'm looking for, the different sections of the city are represented within this committee. Now, listen, it's gonna be, from my understanding, and she's on the call, she can correct me, from my understanding, it'll be opened up to any of our colleagues, any of the board members. But ideally, I think she was looking for a number between 6 and 9. And again, my ask was to make sure that it's diverse and inclusive, which is the message that I know we want to continue to send to the residents in the city of St. Louis.
Okay. Anything further than that, I would like to recognize President Green to, if you have a process in your mind as to how this committee will be picked, or you're going to put out a request to everyone who wants to be on it, respond and then go through it, or what is your process?
Yes, so I've been meeting one-on-one with every alderperson as part of our meetings, have been asking folks if they are interested in serving on this. I'll say the responses have been pretty mixed. Some people are like, I might come into a meeting or two, but I don't want to be on it because it's going to be pretty time intensive. Other folks are like, yes, please sign me up. So the goal is, I hope I can find at least 6 people, preferably 9, who are willing to serve on it. The goal is to do, even distribution throughout the city to make sure that each quadrant, north, south, east, west is all being represented in this, that we have some newer alder people who are planning on running for the seats, and some folks that are also maybe have been here for a while and aren't going to run again, but have a lot of wisdom to kind of impart on that process. We have a lot of work to do, and to give just a little background of some of this, supplemental work that I've asked the city councilor's office to help us with. They are pulling together every single ordinance that has come through this body that references 28 wards, because we are going to have to, we may have to do one large omnibus bill that amends a bunch of previous ordinances, but there are some other things like ward capital and board bills that are specific to certain wards, like liquor moratoriums and things that we've had like that in the past, that I think that committee needs to figure out what do those things look like going forward. I envision that, any committee member or any member of the board can come and ask questions or be a part of the discussion at any point in time. My hope is that we can get the first members of it seated after it passes on December 1st, and have a first meeting the week of December 5th, just to start to map out all of the things that we think that we need to get done between now and April to make sure we have a seamless transition.
Okay, and I don't know, and this being such a very unique situation, and I don't know if our rules allow this, or if it's something that's just popped out of my mind, but during jury duty, they have alternate jurors. Are there a way, with this being such a grandiose undertaking, if we had alternate committee members who maybe could, tag team in and out? I don't know if that's a possibility.
That's a good idea.
Have somebody check the rules to,
Okay.
yeah, everybody wants to serve, but nobody has the time to actually dedicate maybe to the full realm of this. So
Yeah.
that's just an idea. I don't know. The other idea I might have would be to request a reply from every sitting alderman as to what their input would be on this in writing in an email. And then take those ideas. If they can't make the meetings, at least we can use their input.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. I think something else that could be done too is the committee could decide to then create some subcommittees. And because they could end up coming out of this, I would suspect, and say, oh, we need a group that is focusing on amending all past ordinances. We need a group that's focused on staffing, going forward. We need a group that's focused on, job descriptions or whatever. So I think that we may get to a place where we see that there's 3 or 4 buckets that need to get done, and creating some subcommittees that then have other members of the board on it as well. So everybody's sort of helping on this. I think we'll make it so that we can get all the work done, because it's a lot of work.
Sure, certainly. All right, Alderman from the 23rd, you had your hand up. It's down now. Are you?
It's down. I guess the question I had more to do with subcommittees. So this is not even coming out of this committee then.
Correct.
The
This-
subcommittee,
this-
a
this
committee that
meeting
would
is
come
set
out of
up-
this committee
Yeah,
can't be
we're
made
actually
up.
setting up the subcommittee in this meeting today is what
No,
we're
but
doing.
This
A
is
sub-
setting up a special committee, which is
Yeah.
different than a
Right,
subcommittee.
because like I
So,
said, subcommittee has to be made up,
yeah,
which I got in trouble for already once on the public safety thing, so.
correct. So the special committee could then opt to create a couple of subcommittees to plug.
Right, and I
people
kind of
into.
understood that as it was going along. That's why I
Yeah.
took my hand down.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, if you remember last year, I basically gave them homework assignments, Alderman Navarro and Alderman Davis. What we're doing this particular thing I gave, so yeah, it's a matter of spreading it around and trying to get help. But yeah, it's a unique undertaking. So if there's, we can go through by seniority, we'll take some, see if anybody has anything they want to add. Alderwoman Davis, any input?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One of the things that I would like to recommend is because of the way our structure sits, a whole process of salary and employees who will assist the alderpersons and the 14-member structure should come through the Personnel Committee. That is the only committee that can make those decisions on behalf of that board. The board president's office does not hire or make recommendations for aldermanic staff. And the board clerk, who works with the personnel committee, truly needs to be involved in that process because staffing, not only for those alderpersons, but also for the operations of the Board of Aldermen, come from that side of our structure. And so maybe putting all those responsibilities over there and leaving them there where they are appropriately are executed could make that task just a little bit smaller and the overall legislative and ordinances and things like that would be a part of the special committee. That is just my recommendation, but it is also the rules. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman Vaccaro, any further input from you, sir?
No, I'm fine. I'm gonna wait and see how this plays out. I obviously know I'm opposed to any increases, and I'm also introducing a bill that would go back to this, that makes it a full-time position if we're gonna move on to a higher salary. And
Well,
everybody-
we're actually not discussing that today. You're getting to the minutia.
Well, no,
This is
I'm
just about
talking
setting
about-
the special committee up today, okay?
right, well, I'm explaining.
You're fighting the wrong fight today.
No, I'm not really. I'm just explaining.
I got you. All right. Alderwoman Boyd, any input on this situation? Alderman from the 27th?
Here I am. I'm sorry.
All right. Please
I'm
proceed.
multitasking as usual. No, I don't have anything. I'm listening right now because I was a part of this process. I'm losing track on time. Alderwoman Davis probably could help me because I think it was 17 or 18. I was a part of this with Alderwoman Navarro in regards to this. And so we were working on it. And I do know that Alderwoman Davis and some other alder people were working on another part of it. So this is going to be a continuous process. And it's not going to happen overnight. And so people need to get ready because it's a lot of work and we got a little time to do it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman Middlebrook, any input on this?
No, I have none at this time. Thank you.
All right. Alderman Clark Hubbard, we've heard from you to introduce it, but if you have any other things before, I see we have some other people not on the committee. I'm going to see if they would like to chime in. Are
Sure.
you okay? Okay. All right, I see Alderwoman Howard, would you like to speak on anything this as a non-member?
No, I just know it's a daunting task and if there's anything I can contribute, I'm willing to help, but I'm not on the committee. So you know where to, okay?
Okay, thank you very much. Alderman from the 13th, Alderwoman Schweitzer, would you like to put your 2.5 cents in? No? I see her picture, but she's not there. All right. At this point, with this being a basic request to set a special committee up, I recognize the sponsor to close.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. This is a good conversation around this. There's some good recommendations. It sounds to me like we're starting early, right, on this work with the recommendations that we got today. As we continue at this Board of Aldermen and our communities and trust with us, what better way to do that than set up this dedicated space for this work, this necessary work, and that will be here aired on live, all of those meetings, because it is considered a committee, a special committee will be aired live here on STLTV. Our constituents will be able to be just as engaged as they were in the legislation process, which we received so many compliments. Remember Alderman Balmer about how that was done as compared to how it was done in previous years. So with that, I renew my ask for a favorable consideration and do pass recommendation for resolution 146.
I know I recognize your close, but I missed the Alderman from the 19th raise her hand. So if you'll indulge me for a second and let her speak. So I think we're all on friendly terms here. So Alderman from the 19th, you had your hand up. I missed it. I apologize. Please proceed.
Oh, that's okay. I was just reading again. And so I guess on a special committee like this, I was looking at the leadership of the Board of Aldermen, and because everything about this is about the Board of Aldermen, not the president's office, we probably should have some leadership involved in selection process for this special committee. And so I wanted to recommend that you have your majority floor leader and minority leader be a part of selection committee.
Okay, so you're requesting that this be collaboration
Yes,
amongst
sir.
the president and
Yes,
higher
because
up.
when they made this, when the statement was made about the ordinances, and most especially Alderman Vaccaro's statement, also rang another bell for me, because those ordinances are very key. And one of those, of course, is whether or not we're going to make this a full-time job. Whether you make it a full-time or not, you will be working full-time, okay, if you're doing the job. So, but that's another thing that we needed to make sure that we have that leadership involved. So,
Are you,
it's just a recommendation.
well, I didn't know if you're asking to amend this so that was in the resolution, or how would we or
I
if
would
a
recommend that.
handshake and a nod on screen will work.
I'm okay with it.
As I was talking all over Schweitzer earlier this morning, I can no longer use the term gentleman's agreement down here.
Okay.
It's gentle person's
Yeah.
agreement, I guess, would be what. But
Yeah.
I think, and, you know, having ran this board for the last 6 months, that I believe there's a level of trust we all need to attain here that
Yeah.
was lost amongst all of us.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping that level of trust will be present moving forward, that we have to be able to do this. If it's required by law for us to put this in the resolution, we would have to do an amendment. I believe that we might be able to agree amongst ourselves that this will be a collaborative effort, and it's live. You're on record that we will collaborate on trying to pick these committee members. If that works for you, Alderman for the 19th. If not, we will have to draw an amendment up and get it in the drive and do all those things.
Well,
Whatever
I
you
can
feel.
totally agree on that at this moment, because I do know what the remedy is if it doesn't happen.
I
I'm
understand.
fine.
Okay, all
Okay.
right. And I believe, and I truly hope this, that, you know, whatever, and we've been through the roughest year ever in the history of this board, that my 20 years on it, my 60 some odd years alive on this planet here in the city. So I believe that we all agree that we have to just put ourselves to the side and move forward as a team and get this done.
Please.
Okay.
agree.
And if there's members, you know, if the president wants to create a 5-member, whatever, it doesn't have to be myself and the vice president, you can, we definitely should be involved, I believe, but if there's other members or senior members, take it to a level of seniority from top to the top 5, 4, 3, whatever you want to do. I think we can agree on that we'd like some input on it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm fine,
that-
thank you.
All right. Well, your hand's still up, so I'm guessing I'm just not making you happy enough.
And may I say
Believe me.
one last thing?
You please, I'll recognize President. Please speak.
Thank you. The survey that has been emailed to everyone and the follow-up from our one-on-one conversations, one of the questions in there is also whether you want to serve on this or not. So if you haven't filled out your survey, please do, because that will help those of us in leadership have some documentation of who is interested in doing this and putting the work into it to make those decisions.
Okay. All right, over from the 23rd, your hand is up.
And just to the president, I was in the meeting, I said, yes, I would like to serve on that. And so just making sure that, I don't know if I filled that survey out because I thought we did it. I think we
We
did
will-
it.
On record.
Yes,
We did it in the office.
It'll be- Please
You
note,
know.
please note in the minutes, the Alderman 23rd has volunteered. Thank you.
yes, and I will re-up that in your inbox too, in case you did not fill it out, but
Well, I
we'll be
kinda thought-
sending it back to everyone until they're all completed.
Okay, I thought that they you took the notes in the office and I thought that was good enough, so I didn't know.
Yeah, we've been sending a follow-up email. It might not have gotten sent yet, but if it hasn't yet, it will be shortly.
Okay. Otherwise, send me another one.
Okay, we will.
And as chairman of this committee, this special committee, does it have to answer back to legislation and personnel as to these things, or where does it answer to? As my
I think as a special committee, it's its own standing committee. If it were a subcommittee, it would have to refer back to legislation.
So the special committee will elect a chair, and that chair will then be able to take this to the floor. That's not because
No, I don't-
Something
how-
can't go to the.
That's
it can't
not
go
my
to-
understanding.
No,
I
it
think
can't-
that's where
it
we
can't
had
go
the
to the
problems
floor without
last
being-
time.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
trying to
well,
remember the special committee that we had on COVID a few years ago. How was the chair on that selected? I'm trying to remember.
That I don't know, but I don't know that a special committee can bring something to the floor. We'd have to check the
Yeah.
rules.
Okay,
And that doesn't have to be decided today, but we will have to have that because like Oliver from the 19th, or if we're talking about salary and assistance, that's something that the personnel will have final decision on. And I'm guessing if there's something to do with the 14 to 28 to 14, that the special might have to have it introduced by this committee. I'm not looking for any more work.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and look how it was done through the COVID special committee, because none of those bills ended up going to health. They all went from that special committee back to the floor.
I just want to make sure we're doing this legally
Yeah.
you know.
But I'll double check with the clerk on that.
Okay. Yeah, make sure that we get that particular end of this right. I'm still 6 months behind in my life, so
Catch up time.
Mr. Chair, could I speak, please?
Alderman from the 27th, you are recognized everywhere you go.
Wow, listen to you. Thank you, Alderman Bomber. I'm concerned because when we had the subcommittees before, that was the challenge. It was my understanding they had to go back to the legislation committee for them to approve it. Then it goes to the full board.
Well, that was a subcommittee created from the legislative committee, because I actually created those committees from this particular body. So this
Separate.
resolution is creating a special committee separate from the legislation committee. So the president and her choices of her selection committee to select this committee will then create the special committee on ward reduction. I don't know what we're going to call the committee on ward reduction setup or initiation. So
Transition to 14 wards.
okay. So at that point, you are correct, Alderman Boyd, in what happened from this committee when I set you up with from this, but we are actually passing this resolution for the start of a new special committee just for this particular event.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. All right, any more hands up?
Well, just for clarity, I just want to make sure, because I know there's a lot of people texting, there's a lot of public listening. President Green, you did tell me in our meeting that this will be open to all of our colleagues.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody who wants to be on this, we are, if 18 people want to be on it, we're probably going to have to limit it. But I don't think, from my conversations, I don't think 18 people want to be on this. So
Or we'll do the alternates like Chairman Baldwin said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look into the legality of that. And the problem with having too large of a committee is then you need a large quorum.
Yeah,
So there's that Goldilocks moment with the three bears where everything's just right. So that's what we're trying to hunt down here. So any further discussion, Seeing none, you have closed. You can just renew your motion if you like, Alderman 26, and we can move forward.
Absolutely. I renew my motion for favorable consideration and do pass recommendation for resolution 146.
And entertain a motion. You made the motion. She's closed, so I entertain.
Second,
Okay. 26th and 19th. All right, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Davis,
aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
I,
Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg, Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Chair Varner,
Aye.
President Green,
I,
Alderman Coder, Alderman Oldenburg, 7 aye votes.
All right, by your vote, we have sustained the motion by the Alderman from 26th, and we have passed out resolution 146 with a due pass recommendation. Any announcements? None? Nobody's gonna say happy Thanksgiving, gobble, gobble. All right, I'll take care of that. Excuse Alderman, we'll excuse the Alderman from the 7th and the 16th for necessary absence. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion, yeah.
Second? Yeah, I'll second myself. How's that? All right. So thank you very much for your participation today. We'll look forward to doing this. Everybody, please have a happy holiday and a safe holiday. All right,
Yes.
thank you for your time. All
thank
right,
you.
Thank
Aye.
you.
meeting adjourned.